Think we are live, y'all. You're good on that end. So I just gotta make sure it's live on this side. We are. Hey y'all. So welcome to Pieces of the Pie. I am Taisha N. Bryant. I'm sorry, I'm Dr. Taisha N. Bryant. And today we literally just rolled out the red carpet as is. No fancy intro, no months of promo. Just literally a day after working out, we had this really, really intense conversation. And we was like, listen, that's going to be our very first episode on our podcast. So the podcast is Pieces of the Pie, featuring myself and my amazing husband, TJ. You gonna tell him hey? So TJ is literally a man of few words. So for this very first one is really, really special, not only because it's the first one, but we actually have special guests. Starting to my right, I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves, and then we're going to go ahead and get this party started. So make sure you are tag someone, share it, let them know that we are lit, live, and global. It's on you, beautiful.
Hello, my name is Brandy Wells, also known as Angel, and I am here to support Miss Taisha and her husband. And I just feel really blessed to be here. I'm an author, educator, model, actress, you name it, I do it. So yeah, I'm just glad that she had me on her platform, and I look forward to a great conversation.
Yes, thank you so much, Angel.
How y'all doing on Warren Pickett, folks?
Thank you for joining us, one.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm tired. I'm sorry. Um,
Todd.
how are you? My name is Donnell Few. We just gonna go with that, and I'm here because I was invited. I'm not quite sure why, but hey, have a party.
Listen, the party is to be had. So I am literally just going to really moderate. Of course, I'm gonna put my 2 cents in here and there. And if you see me looking down, I'm checking my phones because I am definitely monitoring the comments on both sides. So whether you're watching from YouTube or Facebook, thank you so much for joining us. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. And the pie, which is the person in the environment that we are going to address, is actually men. And I know, like, that's a species, that's a whole category by itself, and it cannot be talked about in one segment. So this is just to kick it off, being that last month was Mental Health Awareness Month. It kind of just rolled over into this conversation. And if I'm not mistaken, July is African American Mental Health Month or something along those lines. So we're all in this together, okay? So the very first thing I am going to ask is, what do you guys think the state of men that you guys are in right now? Like, what state are y'all in when it comes to like mental health? What do you say?
I mean, are we speaking
From the state of Alabama.
individual or general?
So let's hear it both ways. So let me hear like a general perspective and also individual, because you guys are all in different spaces, and as women, we want to know, like.
Well, individually, in the pursuit of my own peace,
Mhm.
I found a lot of things other than said peace. But I mean, you find structure, you find stability, and I feel like I'm great. But that could change at any given moment. From a generality standpoint, I think men are confused because we're not quite sure where we're supposed to, in a sense, where we're supposed to place the value of our health mentally on our scale of other priorities.
Mm.
I think that changes depending on the individual. So I think a lot of men are confused about what the priority should be based on what people tell you is supposed to
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think as a man, we're taught from a young age, when it comes to mental health, that uh, your emotions and your those everything other than I'm good, you just got to deal with it. Life, you just got to deal with it. You got to figure a way to get it done, get it worked out.
Okay. So individually, like as a man, like yourself, one, how are you dealing? Or what state of, I guess, mind you are in as a man?
So, yeah, that's how am I dealing? I think I'm good. Now again, I think I have that mind frame because I just am dealing with stuff and finding ways to cope with it. You know what I'm saying? Weight room, uh, chilling, finding ways just to get through and make it happen.
Okay. Thank you.
Wow.
Go ahead. I'm pondering.
If I can piggyback though to that point, like you mentioned, you asked the question, how are we dealing?
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the biggest things that we're learning, and he just spoke to that, we're learning how not so much to try to deal with certain situations because a lot of things are just beyond our control. We'd like to be able to fix it, but it's kind of sort of out of our hands. So we're learning how to swim, so to speak. How to even if it's swimming with sharks or swimming with fish, you learn how to survive. And like you mentioned earlier about going to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
it may not necessarily fix anything, but it helps to cope. Sometimes as a man, we learn that you just got to get to tomorrow.
Okay. So, which can bring me to my next point. You mentioned that, you guys just cope. TJ, we put a pin there because we're coming back. You're not going to, I hope you don't think you're going to get out that easy.
Oh, no.
Like,
Not at all.
okay, perfect. I'm glad we know that. Right.
I'm coping.
You're going
sit over there and cope.
I love it. I love it. But do we know coping is something that's similar? Like it's temporary. Like it's something that it puts a band-aid on something that could possibly need surgery. So at what point do you feel like, okay, I may need to go up on the knife. I may need to go on the operation table and get to the root of the thing instead of just continue to put a band-aid on it because this band-aid isn't healing it.
Well, the issue right there, first and foremost, you said, at what point do we get there when we feel? No, we're not allowed to feel. We're at that point when life shows us that we're at that point, be it the situations, the environment, our surroundings, the people, and our interactions with said people. A lot of times those situations are presented to us. How do we deal with what's in front of us? Not necessarily how we feel about it. Okay. We have to cope accordingly. A lot of times, problem solutions really don't have room for our feelings, and we know that. You don't come to me for how I feel about something. You come to me for a solution.
Okay, so minus the feelings, the solution to the problem. How do you get to the solution without your feelings?
Sometimes they have to identify themselves, i.e., allowing the environment or allowing the situation to develop. We learn to sit back and wait. Like they say, you learn more by listening than you do by speaking.
Mm-hmm.
You see more by watching than you do by enforcing, by pushing. So we have to sit back and wait.
So that means we just put some more peroxide on it and clean it up and put the Band-Aid back on it, and hopefully.
Because like in a lot of our situations, no matter what we go through, we have to go to work tomorrow.
So you don't believe in mental health days?
I absolutely do. But to your point, some things need surgery. The surgery is going to keep me out of work. So and we're speaking mentally. We're just speaking from a mental health standpoint.
Right.
There are situations where, as a man, my stability has to be the priority. So I have to band-aid things instead of chasing surgery because surgery is going to put me out of work. And there are people relying on me. There are people need me. There are people who need support from me, even if I don't have the support that I need from them.
Gotcha. So what happens when you continue to put a Band-Aid on and the Band-Aid no longer sticks?
Depends on the individual.
Put another Band-Aid on.
Sometimes you just replace the Band-Aid. That's why they keep selling.
I'm gonna cut straight to the chase and say that until the mental needs of men are met by women, then it's going to continue to be an issue in regards of the acceptance of what's needed. We have a way of wanting to accept what we choose. And unfortunately, men in their mental state gets overlooked uh, because we're supposed to be tough. We're supposed to be able to keep going regardless. And so um, we could talk about it all day, but until it becomes,
And depending on the individual, sometimes that's an expectation.
yeah,
More so than what just people assume, okay, well, you're supposed to be tough.
yeah,
There are some people they look at and it just becomes an expectation. Now
Yeah.
I have to explain why I'm not so tough.
right.
And that puts any man in a tough spot, and especially when it comes to, let's say, the wife or the children, when you're trying to explain to your son why you're crying, that's a hard conversation to have with somebody that one day you're going to have to try to teach him to be just as tough a man as he believes that you are.
So, what's wrong with teaching him that as a man that it's okay to cry?
Because
Because the rest of the
if I
world
teach
don't
him
accept it.
and tell him that this is okay, and then society shows him that it isn't, who's at fault?
Yeah.
Who misled and who directed their children in the wrong direction?
As a man, we're supposed to raise our children to survive in society. And we're not in a place where,
And if I don't give him what he needs to survive, his failure is on my hands.
yeah,
So, isn't emotional intelligence needed to survive?
Yeah, to a certain extent. But I mean, the same way it takes a village to raise a child, it takes more than just mental stability to make somebody resilient out here with what's going on. Like his mental, aptitude, so to speak, for how to deal with situations won't save him from a bullet. And there are a lot of environments that I have to prepare him for that honestly it goes against what I may be trying to teach him from a mental health standpoint. Because sometimes you will have to deal with situations physically. Sometimes you will have to stand up and be tough in the face of adversity. Sometimes you will have to put your feelings to the side for the betterment of the family. Because once you have one of them, it's not about you anymore. You're just asking from the viewpoint of a man.
Right.
Women may feel differently. You may look at me because you love me and tell me, hey, I want you to care more about yourself. And I'll receive it. And I may try. But in the end, my priority is always going to be the people I'm committed to. And I will put them in front of me no matter what happens to me in the end. And I won't even regret it.
And it's difficult, like especially for like somebody, a parent that got a daughter and a son, like to kind of raise them and try to raise them the same, but know that
they're not gonna be treated the same.
Their situations are going to be different. Absolutely.
If she cry, she may not get a ticket. LJ go out there and do something that he cry, he gonna get a ticket. Is he gonna look? He gonna deal with, like, people don't really care for an emotional male, especially if you're a big male with a big frame.
You're gonna be slaughtered.
Yeah, you're gonna be slaughtered.
And to your point, just having to teach them that their tears are going to be perceived differently.
Yeah.
So he's going to teach his daughter that, okay, sometimes you got to use what you got to get what you need to. Be compassionate, be humble, be somebody presentable, be somebody that, especially if you want to be a wife one day, so forth and so on. You're going to teach your daughter even as a father, you're going to teach your daughter, the best you can, that these are the attributes that I see in a lady, and I hope that one day somebody will see that in you and he'll want to wife you up and so forth and so on too. And it's going to be a complete 180 for my son. I have to teach him that them tears are going to be a problem. They're going to be an issue. Your tears will make you be perceived as weak, even if you're not. Your tears will make you be perceived as something you may not be. And you may have to deal with that in Lord knows so many different types of ways, depending on the individuals that you're around.
So, okay, so boom, baby girl, you can cry.
Mm-hmm.
Son, ain't no tears.
No, you have to be careful when you cry.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. You have to be careful when, where,
how, and who
you're around.
These are lessons that they just can't be perceived the same. So we have to teach them different.
What did you learn that lesson from?
Okay, so some people call them traumas.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily believe that I have traumas. One of the things my mama taught me when I was young was that trials and tribulations are coming, but it's up to me if they stay traumas, if they say trials, or if they become a testimony. The
Mm.
moment you get past it, it's a testimony. Now you got something you can take to somebody and teach and learn from. So long story short, in my process of trying to figure out my peace and my stability and figuring out what type of man I want to be, I learned that more so than my feelings being a weakness, there's something valuable that I need to protect. And I need to be careful of who I show them to. I need to be careful of who I allow to get close to me. Because the very thing that they need to hurt me, I'm giving it to them by opening the door.
And have someone
Mm.
put you in that situation?
Oh, countless times.
Countless times.
Countless times. You learn these, as men, we learn these lessons on the
Right.
fly.
Right. And would that be more in relationships or
Across the board.
across the board?
Relationships of every manner. Platonic relationships,
Mhm.
Business relationship.
business relationships, obviously romantic relationships, even in certain situations with family. There will be times that family can let you down and they don't even realize how much they just hurt you
Mm.
until the distance creeps in.
Right. So do you verbalize it?
That can be a mistake because we'll go back to now, my feelings are valuable and they're important because that's literally the key way to manipulate me. How much am I really going to share with somebody that just hurt me? So why would I verbalize it? Sometimes me telling you that there's a problem is giving you what you need to know that, okay, this is how I can get there.
So is that general for guys or is that case by case scenario?
Is what general. I'm sorry.
Based on what he just said, basically, when somebody do something to you, offends you, you don't tell them that they offended you. You just kind of
Deal with it on your own.
and allow the distance to happen.
No. You can tell them,
You can
but you
tell
can't
them
show them.
situationally,
You can't show
but I
them.
can't show you how it affected me.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay.
We
I
go
can
back
tell
to
you
the
all day.
feelings that, yeah, I can tell you, hey,
You
man,
pissing me
that
off.
was jacked up, bro. You know what I'm saying?
you crossed
Like,
the
for
line.
example, I say, hey, you crossing the line.
Mm-hmm.
And then the distance shows that, okay, that person has to realize that maybe they did cross the line. And if they value me as such, then that's about the only way I'm going to get any kind of correction out of it. But if I react accordingly and hit them in the nose, regardless of how that goes, they know that, okay, when I push these buttons, I can garner said responses out of it.
So verbalizing instead, you've pissed me off. Is there a because or you did X, Y, and Z? Or is it, oh, you just pissed me off, we ain't talking?
Depends on the situation. But usually with men, we're logistical creatures. So usually it's a cause and effect. Usually.
Okay.
Now, of course, there's 300 million men in the world. So, there are those that probably wear their feelings on their sleeves. There are those that, try to be stoic and everything else. But usually men are logistical creatures. So it's usually a cause and effect type deal. You've done something to garner said response or said feeling and be that animosity or whatever it may be. Like I said before, sometimes we just give a person an opportunity to show us who they are and then we believe them.
Yeah. I like
And
that
act
saying.
accordingly.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay. So my next question would be, being that, you have boy and girl you're raising, you have a mixed blend. And I'm gonna bring the woman into the picture because, we're talking about the male and we all go together. You know what I'm saying? Right. We go together. We go together. But as a mom raising little boys, because your babies are under 13, right?
Mhm.
And then you have girls.
Mhm.
So do you find that you raise them differently or are you raising them the same? Being that
Totally different. Like they see everything that they experience, they experience it differently.
Absolutely.
So you have to respond to them differently, even in discipline.
mhm.
The way I discipline Grace is totally different from the way I discipline Justice. They and they respond to me differently. So it's like living in two worlds at the same time.
So, do you teach him, like they mentioned about the tears and, not to cry in this space, express your emotions this way? What does that look like for you? Or have you had that conversation with him in regards to his emotions?
I think indirectly I do. Teach them how to be a little tougher than I do my girls. I let my girls kind of rest their heads where I make my boys kind of, get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it's indirectly. I haven't directly said boys don't show emotions while girls have the ability to, but it's more of, you have to kind of be more stern and work a little harder. You can't deal with your sister like you deal with your brother, so it's really kind of indirectly teaching them. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And do you find that working? Like, do you see, like, or has that been, well, why can he or why can she and I can't? I know you hadn't gotten to the dating
Of course.
age with them, but
Yeah, it's a lot of pushback. And they're so close in age. They're Irish twins. They're months apart. So it's, mother, can I go to the movies and have a mixed group of kids, boys and girls? And I'm like, no. But Justice kind of get the ability to go to urban air and jump with, some of his female friends and guy friends. But Grace, I'm more cautious. I'm like,
why?
Can I ask you a question before you even
Yeah.
answer that?
Mhm.
Why shouldn't she?
I didn't say she shouldn't, so I'm asking her why.
We're being inclusive, and what I
Right.
mean by that is, because for every yin there's a yang, right?
Right.
Like you're saying why she does it, and I
Mhm.
think from a general standpoint, even before you answer, we kind of understand why you do it from a cultural standpoint, and
Right.
obviously being, minority descent and so forth and so on. There are just certain things that have to be applied in the overall well-being of your children.
Mm-hmm.
But why wouldn't you do it would be an awesome question.
Right.
I mean, if she didn't do it, then I would probably still ask her, well, why don't you?
Because there would be an obvious deficit involved, especially in that young lady's life, if she didn't teach them that there are going to be certain things that he can do that you can't.
Cannot do.
And
we do have
certain
that
things that
conversation.
sometime,
Mm-hmm.
You'll be privy to that
Right.
he won't.
Right.
And you have to understand the difference in how to move in grace regardless.
Mhm.
And that's a tough lesson to teach girls.
Right.
And I think the absence of those lessons has a huge impact
Can
in
be
gender roles.
extremely dangerous as well.
Mm.
Yeah, because
Henceforth, why I ask, why wouldn't you teach it?
we're men again, we're supposed to be tough, we're supposed to be leaders, we're supposed to be the go-to.
Right.
Women, which are flowers, we're supposed to teach young men to treat women a certain way. In my line of work, I don't see many girls that are taught how to treat men
Not
or young
anymore.
men.
There was a time.
And
Not as much.
Young men are being tormented for expressing themselves. And that makes it harder when they grow older. And we also look at it as if there's a timeline as to when you can wait to express yourself. How many times have we seen somebody in a dating relationship go south? And what's one of the first things to come out?
Why didn't say nothing?
You weak. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
use everything that you tried that we're talking about expressing to your partner, to your safe space, being thrown in your face. So that's like,
But that happens both ways, though.
Yeah, but
More
it kind of
times
hit
than-
different with men because one thing about being vulnerable, we're going to one of the ways that we're going to show you that we love you is allowing you access to parts of us that we don't allow to anybody else.
yeah.
So when you turn around and weaponize that, it hurts us way worse than we'll ever let you know because you got me this time. I can't let you
let it
get me
go
like
again.
this again, even if you're my wife.
So
I
it's
can't.
a slow shutdown process.
That's the beginning of the separation. You know what I mean? And it's dangerous because a lot of times, and again, we're speaking in generalities because women that know better do better. And I'll never say all women,
Right.
but the numbers show a lot of women in moving in their emotional stance, they'll do said damage. And when they feel better, they feel like we feel better. And it ain't always the case. So then when this thing falls apart, they go, well, I don't know what happened. He won't talk to me. But you'll never hear, why he won't talk to you, why he shut down. What did you do to make this man distance you? How did you
What if she
lose
don't
his
know? Is that something that said like?
That's not acceptable because it isn't acceptable the other way around.
No, I say if it's something that's said, not acceptable, but okay,
Well,
let's
the
just
reason
say
I'm
we're
saying,
having
when
a
you say-
conversation,
when you
right?
say she doesn't know. If
Mhm.
she doesn't know, then whose fault is it that she doesn't know?
I mean, if you didn't express it, then
So it's
it
up
could
to
be
me
your
to express how you hurt me.
right.
When you claim to love me, because guess what men do? How long are you gonna walk around here mad at me before I have to come do something about this? Whether we gotta talk it out, whether I got to take you. So we have to address this because this cannot continue like this.
Right,
I have to take the initiative on it.
right.
If I've hurt you, I have to take the initiative to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
At what point in time, why is it that if you've hurt me, I gotta let you know that you done hurt me so that you can fix it? No. Be persistent enough and be observant enough to see that okay, this man is treating me differently. I
There
have
it
to
is.
fix this.
That's what I was waiting for.
Now, are you open to the fixing once she
Depends on the
recognizes?
individual. Depends on the individual and what she did.
So we're talking wife at this point.
Like prime example, and analogies work best in this situation because
Okay.
as a woman, there are a lot of things that you may accept, but like a lot of men go out there and they think with the wrong head. They make in their mind ain't that big of a mistake when they cheat.
Mhm.
But to a woman and the emotional attachment that she put in this relationship, it's devastating.
Right.
And she may never get past it. And then in conversation, when me and you talking about it, you pick up that I don't feel like I screwed up as bad as you think it is. Like we should be able to get past this.
Right.
And that seems like I'm disrespecting how you feel. And how is that going to fix anything?
Right.
That can go both ways. That pendulum can swing both ways.
So a lot of this is really about being in a partnership with someone who has a certain level of emotional maturity.
Of course.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, there's a yin and a yang to all of it because there are a lot of women out there that ask for men with emotional maturity. But if you meet said man and you're not as mature as he is, he will leave you.
Right.
He will get missing because he ain't got time for the game.
It's gonna be a problem prior to him leaving.
It ain't gonna be long with one though because he know his value. He know his
Right.
worth. He knows what pushes his buttons and he see you reaching for him. So he go ahead and get out of there early.
But I'm saying that goes back to what you said earlier, as far as the best way to put it, as far as you claim you want something, but then when you get it, it ain't what you was ready for.
Absolutely.
And then now it's another issue because
Absolutely. It's like asking
you're
for $1
pointing out
million.
stuff
Like
to fix, or
asking,
you're telling me stuff. Well, you ain't accepting me as I am. Well, some of the things you do aren't conducive to our relationship growing.
True.
But it's a problem because I'm pointing it out.
True.
The emotional maturity in me is pointing out where we're going wrong. And
then sometimes it comes down to now your reaction is what do you do with this information? Because the information from a guy standpoint, the information I've given you doesn't change. Now, when you turn around and tell me, but yada yada yada, okay, I hear everything you're saying, but I gave you all I had to give you. And if you're gonna turn around and make it my fault anyway, some shut down then.
Mhm.
Some take everything you say back and internalize. Well, maybe it is my fault. Maybe I need to. Yeah, you never know how that's going to go individually.
Mm-hmm.
But
how
most
that
men,
happen,
once they put that out there and it gets kicked, they won't ever put it back out there again, no matter how close you think you are.
While we're on that subject, how many times does a woman say, maybe it is me, maybe it is somebody
You
else?
won't hear that often out of a lot of ladies.
I think some of the women, based off of work, a lot of the women who say they'll just take it, like I'm just gonna take that one because they don't want to stay in that same space, and they know regardless of what I say, your mindset is still going to be what it is. So I'm just gonna take it. And as a woman, some women deal better.
But why do you have to say I'm just gonna take it? How come it can't be, well, maybe I'll just explore that I might be wrong?
Same thing, different verbiage.
No, verbiage is important.
Verbiage is very
There's a
important.
big difference between I shouldn't have did it and baby, I'm sorry.
That is true.
Verbiage is important.
But more than verbiage being important, your behavior is even more important.
That's a
because
follow through, but we got to get there from the conversation. If I put my feelings out there to you, and through your verbiage, I get the impression that you ain't quite as you don't quite understand how much you've hurt me.
Right.
Your actions from this point on don't matter because I can't trust you. Emotionally, I can't trust you.
I know a situation that I was in where with a man, and explain this to me because it's kind of along the lines. But
Perfect. Because we got a question too.
yeah, but I will come to you and say, I have a problem with this, A, B, C, D. And then in that moment, he's like, but the reason why I'm like this is because you da, 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 da. What do you do in that situation? And why is it that that resistance come when the woman opened up the communication and instead of dealing with the problem she present, now there's this level of deflection. Well, the reason why you're feeling this way is because you caused me to act like this.
But how do I know you acted like this if you didn't bring it up when it happened?
Hold on. Let me make sure I got the scenario right. Woman come to man and said, "This is what hurt me." Man said, "All right, I act like
did
this
this because of
this."
Yep.
All right.
Like, yeah, we do that.
So, and that's not just with women. Like the way I respond to every situation is kind of based off of what I've been shown in situations with that person, and knowing that, hey, if I come off and I say this in this moment, it's going to hurt you more than if you said that same thing to me in this moment. So when you come to me with, hey, this is going on, I'm feeling like this. In that moment, I may be feeling, hey, shoot, I know what happened before that. I know what's going on. It's some stuff that hurt me, but I respond with, hey, look, I'm this way because I'm big and my words hurt. So, just give me some time, and then we'll come back to this conversation when I feel like I'm safe enough to talk to you without hurting you.
That's fair. Now, I would go so far as to say now, from a generality standpoint, this is simple. As with, like, nobody deals well with rejection.
Right.
Nobody likes to be told that they were wrong.
Or
sometimes, even if they dead wrong, that don't mean they want to hear it. From an individual standpoint, though, just based on listening to what you told me, I would go so far as to say that odds are you were dating someone who was well versed because of his experiences with how to try to manipulate somebody's emotion.
Gotcha.
And how to pass blame, move the book, in a sense, move the goalposts emotionally to try to get you feeling another way. Because if I can get you thinking about what's going on over here, you won't keep looking at what I did over here.
Gotcha.
Those are manipulators and they're dangerous. But them brothers is out there. Just like, of course, we know there are women out there the same way.
Right.
But them brothers out there too, and they dangerous. So before I would say that you did anything wrong, because with most men, accountability is kind of taught to us from children.
Right.
So when you look at me and say, hey, what you did hurt me as a guy, in normal guy logic, internally, I'm already thinking, okay, A, do I love her enough that no matter how I feel, I have to respect how she felt? Maybe I feel like it wasn't that bad, but she does, and she's important. Or B, I don't give a damn how she feels.
Yeah.
I think
I'm being honest. I mean, this is internally. Now, again, men have to, because men are usually pursuing something out of a young lady, and there are a lot of steps that goes into that. So it's a lot of things he'll never look you in your face and say, because that's going to slam the door, know. But what he's thinking, all bets is on.
Right.
Because when, and I think all of us can speak to this, when a man values you, even our concept of right and wrong gets skewed. There are going to be times that if I love you, you can do me wrong, and I might not like it, but leaving ain't an option. Right. it just ain't.
Right.
I think those gender roles also play a role into that in most cases. It goes back to where we said men and women are different. Where a woman might get hit once and go down, men are going to take a lot of hits. Same thing in the situations.
Mhm.
You might hit me here, and I'm holding on to it. Not to bring it up on purpose, but the fact is, you brought something up that hurt you. Cool. Let's also debate this. So that does it plays a role into it.
Absolutely.
Where I'm not trying to bring it up, but since you brought this up, let's go ahead and discuss everything because it all plays in a factor.
I can speak to one of my traumas in my life because now, for those that don't know, I've been married a long time. I got married young, but there was, of course, we have our fair share of traumas like everybody else do.
Right.
And how we dealt with our traumas because we were two different individuals, were completely different. And so there were plenty of times in my marriage where, in my wife struggles with her traumas, she would bring up things in the past. And a lot of times I would sit back and I try to explain. And it took me a long time to figure out that, I'm trying to answer questions that she ain't really even asking. She's just defending. She's upset about something that she can't let go of.
Right.
But then I figured it out. I look her dead in the face and say, I tell you what, from now on, the only thing, I'm sorry for everything that happened, but the only thing I can defend the past with is the past. So everything that I have to relive, we finna relive.
Right.
It stopped at that moment. So sometimes it's just how it's the approach.
Okay.
Also, tagging on what I said, what was said earlier, everything. If a man was to address every issue, it seems like he's picking.
Facts.
Damn, I can't do nothing right. Everything I do, he's gonna say something about.
Facts.
So, at what point is a man supposed to address the stuff that was going on?
So
Fine line.
I like to think, and we have not done it in a while. We used to, we would do like weekly or monthly check-ins. What have I done this month that kind of, made you upset? Let's talk about it. What have I done that improved from the previous month?
How much time
What?
you got?
The hard,
What?
the hard thing about that is that it all goes back to keeping records.
Because we're not supposed to keep record of wrongdoing.
Right.
But if something like really bothered you and you just have yet to talk about it.
But as a man, what I've learned in my self-reflection was, and this is again learning, my mission became, how do I figure out how to be a better man tomorrow than I was today? In whatever little improvement I could make. What I figured out was in thinking, okay, well, boy, she get on my nerves. It took me about 20 minutes of self-reflection to realize, wait a minute, that's how it's supposed to be. Because I love her enough that she's that close to me. I don't give a damn what anybody else think. I don't care what anybody else say. That's
100%.
so the fact that she can,
all right,
shows me that, okay, I value this woman enough
Right.
that this is how important she is.
Right.
And then I figured out, okay, now that I think this, go tell her. just go tell her. Don't overthink it. Go tell her. You get on my last damn nerve. And that's how it's supposed to be, damn it.
I love it. So we have two questions. I'm gonna start with the first one.
Uh-oh.
It says, is it hypocritical to if you gotta ask if it's hypocritical, it's hypocritical. Is it hypocritical to enforce active and instant communication from the woman if you don't do the same until a conflict arises?
I think that goes without saying. It's hypocritical. If I ask anything of you that I'm not willing to give, then that's hypocritical.
Yeah, but I hear but. What's the but?
It plays into it.
A woman can express their emotions openly and freely.
Yep.
Yes.
And we got to deal with it.
Yes.
So they can feel a type of way and they can talk on it when they feel that type of way.
Yes.
I could feel a type of way.
But not all women.
Most women.
Okay, most. I said because
I
heard it. Yeah, it's okay. This is general, right? This is general.
Generality.
General.
So what we're not going to do is explain anything.
You're right. You're right.
Any abnormalities.
You're right.
Any of your individual situations.
You are absolutely right. But this was a question from the audience. So I'm assuming it's a woman who asked. So I'm going to assume that
not make it wrong though. Two things can be true. Actions, I can be hypocritical in my actions, but because I respect how you feel, you have to respect how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
So
I said, women can openly express their emotions at
Mhm.
that moment, and
Absolutely.
we got to deal with it.
Absolutely.
Now,
You
if I
respect
feel a type of way
You sassy.
and I openly express how I'm feeling at that
You think
moment,
sassy?
Sassy.
like
Wait.
yeah, like
I'd rather be sassy than zesty.
I'm hurt your feelings. Is I
Oh,
gotta
They
sit
throw that
down
word
and think
around,
about
They
man.
it.
love it.
How I can
Why am I being
express
judged?
what I'm saying
right.
without making it worse, and that's danger because
It
like
can be.
dang, I gotta rotate around my emotions to accommodate your emotions at a moment where
You're emotionally heightened in some
yeah,
He just touched on one of the biggest obstacles for guys when it comes to talking to women.
Mm-hmm.
And that obstacle is, how am I going to be perceived while I'm trying to let, because I have to be careful with
Yeah.
how I say certain things, because no matter how angry or upset you get, it's always going to be perceived as that's how she feels. But with me, I get mad enough. What are you gonna do?
especially
Mm.
especially
Might not be safe. You know, these are
Right,
things that
right.
men have to think. Like I have to, even in expressing myself, I got to make sure you're comfortable enough that you still feel safe.
yeah.
So
Nobody give a damn about my safety.
I have a question to add on to that piece. So what about the woman who feels like everything that just transpired, they've shut down because now they got to process what's happening.
Right.
And to the guy, does it look dismissive?
Just all.
If the woman is like, listen, I need a moment to process all of this, and I'm gonna come back with the logical answer versus talking off my emotions. So I won't say anything to cause
I'm cool with that.
like is that okay?
Men are logical creatures. So if you put that in the words,
Mm-hmm.
it removes all of the feelings of it. And the question is, okay, do I love her enough to respect how she feels and give her the space she needs, or do I care more about making sure she understands that I'm talking?
So that becomes a control thing, right?
Mm.
I
We go
lied.
back to those manipulations.
Some ways, gotcha. So as long as it's communicated, it should be respected.
Exactly.
And if it's not
'Cause
respected, we got a little
respect-
manipulation going on, is what I
Respect
hear.
is not gender. Respect is gender neutral.
Does those moments fluctuate? Like you may love her more in one moment and then
No, because
Or
this
is
is what
that-
I've learned. And it's okay.
okay.
This is what I've learned. Men and women are different creatures.
Uh-huh.
Women love like a roller coaster.
Okay.
When it's up, it's up. Now, when she loves you, she loves you. And then that's when women look at you, be like, "I love you more than you love me." And sometimes as brothers, we get trapped in them arguments. You need to better look at her and tell her, you know what, you're right. Right now, you do. Right now, you love me more than I love you. But when this thing starts falling, they can hate you as much as they love you. Whereas men, on the flip side, we love like a dirt ball. We can't hit it. A man truly loves a woman, even if she is the worst shit for him. He may get rid of her. He may make better choices and try to move on with his life in this direction. But in the back of his spirit, he have to distance himself because he know how he feel about this food.
Yeah.
He call her food now.
What I'm saying, like if she's the worst of the worst,
Right.
but he loves her, he has to understand and figure out that if I don't get away from her, she will have me forever because I can't stop loving her, no matter what she do to me. And that's why it can get dangerous, because men and women do love different. And that intensity fluctuates. And we're talking true love now. We're not talking, because a woman's love can be based on how she feels a lot. Men express their love a lot through duty and responsibility. That's why you've heard the expression that I don't need your love, I need your loyalty. Because that's how men process love. If you truly love me, then I'm gonna have your loyalty. But it ain't always like that.
Oh, their respect.
I was gonna say I know respect.
But again, respect is gender neutral.
Gotcha.
We take respect and put it over here because that gotta be the concept.
But the way we view it is different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love itself is viewed different. So
I had to learn that. So transparent moment, and then I'm gonna go to the next question. So there was a time. So T John, we had this conversation, and I was trying to figure that piece out, right? As far as like, what do you need from me? Like, and this was like, early on or whatever, and it was just like, as a man, respect is is top tier, chef
Women-
kisses.
Yep.
Right. So, and I start to research and I looked up different YouTube videos, different podcasts, different books and things of that nature that talks about love for men is respect. And for women, of course, it's different.
Mhm.
It's, of course, respect is
It's
there,
involved.
but it's not.
It's a multitude of things.
Right.
Women are complex things. And complex,
I love
which you're
it.
supposed to be.
Right.
If men are simple creatures and women are complex creatures.
It
And
depends on the man.
And if we, well, I'm just simply saying, at our core,
At y'all core, yes.
at our core. And if it wasn't that way, we wouldn't get along. Nobody wants to be with a woman that's just like him, and no woman wants to be with a man that's just like him.
Because they become sassy then,
Now,
though.
what you
Now,
say?
my guy asked me earlier, he asked me a question earlier that opened up a language, and it's just right there's a lot of language barriers with men and women, but he
Ooh,
opened up a conversation.
Right.
He asked me, do you believe I love you, or do you know I love you? And my argument was they go hand in hand. It's like I believe in God, which thus makes me know his existence is real.
Mhm.
But he was asking more it is in a hope type of thing. Do I hope you love me? Are you still kind of wishy-washy? But my argument was I can't know you love me if I don't believe.
Well, let me tell you what he was gauging.
Mm-hmm.
He was gauging whether or not you trust him.
Mm.
Because for us, and again, separation of love.
Mm-hmm.
A man, I cannot love you if I don't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for me to love you, I have to figure out a way to trust you.
Right.
I have to, or else we can't function. As a man, I can't let you walk out that front door and I'm worried about what you're doing. It will run me crazy. So I can't love you like that.
That explains a
You
lot.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
So is
we
that
un-
their own? Is that the man's own insecurity? If the
no,
woman,
no. It's a necessity.
so that's what I'm saying. So if the woman has not given them a reason per se to not trust them, but they have
that
that
she's aware of.
No.
that she's aware of, but
You're,
the guy has that.
You're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm
Okay.
not saying that anybody's done anything. What
Gotcha.
I'm
This is
saying,
general.
it is a
Okay.
staple of a man's love. In order for me to
Mm.
look at you and tell you that I love you,
Mm-hmm.
trust cannot be questioned.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
So is that automatic in the beginning of a relationship?
Automatically. For it to be, when we start now, I can admire you. I can think you're attractive. I can think you're cool. I can get to know you. We can go through that whole dating process.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you I love you because it's what you want to hear. But it ain't love until I'm ready to make them commitments.
Young people, do y'all hear that? For all of those who are looking to be in a committed relationship, you want to get married. That came from a man. Y'all heard what he said. He gonna tell y'all what y'all want to hear. I ain't said, he said it.
It's true. It's human nature.
Do y'all co-sign? Because this is general.
It's human nature. No man's finna walk up to a girl that he thinks attractive. Let's say you think she's attractive. You want to sleep with her.
Get your foot in the door.
You're gonna walk up to her. Hey, you're a really nice chick, and I think me and you could get along for about 2 weeks.
Uh-oh.
How would that go over?
In today's society.
Even in today's society.
Right.
I walk up to you and I say that, and you go, "Yeah, that's cool." Even as a man, even though I'm the one that led with it, as soon as you go, like, "Yeah, that's cool. 2 weeks, that's long enough." My brain gonna tell me, "Oh, she ain't shit."
So what situation would be the opposite of that?
The opposite of that is okay.
That you're not thinking she ain't that.
Because standards are attractive.
Ooh. Okay.
So you go up to somebody, like prime example, I get to know you, we talking, you know what I'm saying, things are going the way they're going. You get to meet my friends, they all meet you, and all of a sudden the word grace comes out. Women with grace are one of the most attractive things in the world. But not a lot of women have grace now. Most of them can't even define it.
I was just gonna say, could you for the people,
I mean,
for the youngest, could you tell them
the easiest
what you mean
example
by
I can
grace?
give-
Give them an example.
The example I can give, if you remember your grandmother and she was in your life, that was grace.
Well, these kids nowadays, they
25.
Then go find it.
Oh.
Then go find it. Because there are certain
It's
things.
available.
There are certain
It's
things I
available.
can't, like the verbiage won't
You
do
can't
it justice.
right.
You
Understood.
can't compart, like there isn't a Webster's dictionary for grace. You just know it when you see it.
Yeah, y'all heard that.
You should.
So
when
when they
meet a
see
woman,
it,
with Grace.
Mhm.
Okay. And she said, I just want to hear how you mentally would view this. She sleep with you on the first date.
That's not Grace.
That's not good.
That's not Grace.
Okay. Okay.
It's
So
not-
she can't want a
It might.
woman-
Wait, hold on now.
Grace
Depends on how you feel.
can't-
I disagree.
Grace, now wait a minute now.
That means that means she graced me.
And listen, when I talk about how we son, this is the type of brother that when they won't cheat, they won't cheat. When they won't cheat, they won't cheat. You know, yeah. I'm good.
I'm just asking.
But then when she look at you, that's your point. You be like, hey, she just graced me. So then when she roll over and be like, okay, so me and you boyfriend and girlfriend now, you be like, where my shoes at?
Mm,
It depends on how it went.
in the closet.
depends on how it went.
That's what-
We gonna make this work,
It
right?
depends on how it went.
Because I
Lord,
feel
you-
like
If it was good, it
from
was
a
good.
woman's perspective, like we know what we want when we see it, just like a man know what they want when they see it. And I think when the connection is made and you're both adulting,
That may be fair. and
Yeah.
That may be true.
and you guys have this moment,
Two things can be true.
mhm,
You may find love in a one night
Right.
stand that grows.
right?
That still can be absent of grace.
Okay.
The question was, where's the grace in that?
Okay.
You have a one night stand with this dude and come to find out he's homeless.
Mhm.
Oh, dang.
Well,
Where's Grace?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
And he worked with Tommy.
boy.
got
Boy. I know, right? Boy. Anyway, see what I'm saying? Like, there's a game for everything.
Right.
That
You
is
tell me,
true.
okay, I'm a nice, upstanding woman, but if you leave with sex on the first night, I still can't help but come to a certain conclusion. Like, I could tell you, I'm a great dude. I got ambition. I got this. I got that. I just so happen to be unemployed.
Mm.
When that word get dropped, you got a decision to make.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Why you ain't working?
When you gonna what you mean? When
You need a
gonna-
respite. You working a job.
Just
you
in
ready?
asking those questions, if you're willing to
Meet 'em where they are.
entertain the possibility of him having potential,
Mhm.
you're already ahead of the curve when it comes to most women. Most women want a ready-made project.
A ready-made project.
And that's Grace.
Had nothing to do with sex.
Right.
Mm. But yeah, that's true.
Had nothing to do with sex. See now, see you.
She could have graced you with some good sex, and then
No,
she
but
kept
no,
to
no,
build
no,
a
I'm saying,
resume.
no, right to that point, but not to that point.
As
You had a
payback,
one night
$40.
stand.
That's the $40.
You
That's
had-
babe, what's the
Oh,
$40?
I'm crazy. Who came up with $40? How did that become the magic number, man?
First of all,
We decided that the kid is only worth $40.
first
I'm
of,
just saying.
Crazy.
first of all,
You're telling me right now that
That's
the
the
kid
whole
is only worth half a tank of gas.
if $40 come up, Grace is out the window. I'm just saying.
Pretty grace this wallet.
God, no.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be the comic relief, but yeah. I just wanted
Be
to
honest. But
That
to
pays you for your
you
service.
made a valid point though. So to a guy, one night stand, grace went out the window.
Right.
Mhm.
But if you're still around long enough that okay, when I start to open up who I really am, I ain't got a job. Here's an opportunity for you to insert that grace that I didn't get a chance to see when we.
We first one was
Mm.
okay.
Mm.
But a lot of times you don't get them opportunities,
Right.
so it depends on the brother.
Okay.
Okay, I like it.
It's
So
different than it's a lot of women that hey, what do you do? Well, I'm kind of in between jobs. She get up and walk off.
Uh-oh.
That's ooh wee.
That's what I was saying. I think women love
Of course.
more on financial stability.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Men, our love done got skewed because it used to be what we see, what we want, but then with the introduction of this BBL stuff and all that,
oh,
shoot,
We have to be.
we are
we have to
very
be more protective.
yeah, like we gotta kind of
We have to be protective
Yeah.
because what we have in society right now is a whole lot of fake women still
a
want real
whole
men.
lot.
ooh,
That's
that'll
that goes
preach.
hard. That goes hard.
Ooh, a
So like
lot of
I have sons that are young men now. They're young adults, and I'm still trying to teach them like, listen, man, I want y'all to find wives. I
Right.
want y'all to have children. I want
Right.
grandchildren, but I want y'all to find women that ain't gonna leave when things get tough.
Mm.
Right.
And they are becoming more and more rare.
More.
So you have to be extremely diligent now.
And cautious.
And you got to figure out how to swim with sharks. Because,
Yeah.
bro, unfortunately, it just ain't a lot of ladies left.
It's tough.
Mm.
And there can be 1,000 reasons for that, but it just doesn't change the fact that there just aren't a lot of ladies left.
Yeah.
So,
ladies that meet those standards.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Oh,
Like,
just in general.
you know, just it's a lot of girls out there. There ain't a lot of women, so to speak.
gotcha.
So what do you think of the women who do the BBL?
I don't.
Oh,
I like.
I don't.
So what is it that you're telling your sons? I mean, you don't have to give us like our candid conversations, but like for some, okay. So what are you telling them?
I mean, talk to some of their friends that don't have fathers the same way. Because
Mm.
that's what I learned. Okay, you'd be surprised just how many brothers don't have dads. So they got to get this information wherever they can, and they starving for it.
Mhm.
You know, some go to the military. You know, just they're trying to get
Sports
this leadership, sports coaching, so forth and so on. They're trying to get this leadership wherever they can find.
right.
So one of the easiest things, and it's a hard conversation to have with somebody, because I had the same hormones when I was 21, 22 years old. But trying to get them to understand that, bro, your actions have consequences. You know what I
Right.
mean? So until you know who you doing this with, I know it sounds crazy, bro, slow down. Slow down. You have to. Not because I don't want you out here having your fun, but because your quote unquote fun is gonna cost you a whole lot more than it's probably gonna cost her, depending on that type of woman. Because only the good women suffer in them types of situations.
That is true. So how old are your sons? 20?
23 and 21.
Okay.
They finna be 24 and 22
20, gotcha.
in a month. So
It's 6.
the
20,
devil is a liar. Damn, I'm old.
23 and 25. All right. So my question,
Spin around, you go to work, you come home, spin around, wait. You have toddlers, you're teaching them how to do backflips and ride bicycles, you spin around, you go to work, you come home, they graduate high school.
They have from 20.
It's crazy.
5.
Then you know exactly what I mean.
Right.
Because you're seeing it firsthand.
mm,
First year trying to get them to talk.
Boy, it happens so
And
fast.
18 years trying to get them to be quiet.
Trying to get them shut.
That 5-year-old, like, can you just for 5 seconds?
just 5.
Be careful what you ask for.
Mm.
Because at 8, they'll stop talking. You be like, what's wrong with my baby?
Oh, that's true.
I think he's talking enough to go silent. Oh, straight.
My man, my older one time, son, why you talking so much? He looked her dead in the face and said, because I have so much to say.
Aw.
He came home and told me about that, I almost cried.
He follows me around the house and just talks. And he loves those little salamander things.
Uh-oh.
So he has the salamander teddy bear. He has videos on
Right.
YouTube, and it's all salamanders.
Oh, wow.
And
You don't
he
have a
wants
real
me
one,
to
do you?
buy one. No, I refuse.
I got plenty in my yard if you want to.
Mm.
Just come by and grab one,
What
Right.
you say now?
So
please.
I'm going to ask this young lady this question.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. But before I ask that question, I wanted to know. You said your babies is 23, 25.
No, she corrected me. Yeah.
But okay,
I was wrong.
shout out to the wife.
Yeah,
You
in
know,
all my years of marriage, I've developed the ability to be like, hey, I was wrong.
I was wrong.
I love
What do you want me to say? I was wrong.
so at that age,
Answer.
Right.
Oh, I see it. every
Sometimes
time.
you do.
I'm
I
right.
ain't say I'm wrong. I said
Look,
you got this one.
look, man.
but
You got this
you
one.
get it wrong.
You
got this
dead right. And be like, you know what? I'm wrong. You got it.
Now, turn the controller on. So
So let's be in this.
gotcha. So at this age that they're at now, do you think that they are ready for like committed relationships? Do you feel like you've given them enough?
All I can tell you is that I've given them every tool that I could for them to make the right decision. So it ain't my fault if they make wrong. They still people at the end of the day. They still grown folks that make their own choices. So
And make plenty of mistakes.
they're going to make their mistakes.
Right.
I don't want them to make any that are, one hit or quitters. Them Them, like they say, what you can't wash off,
Them
what you can't
detrimental.
undo.
Right.
But I've given them all the information. They know the consequences. They know.
Right.
So now, as men, because we talk about again how we have to raise men.
Right.
Now, as men, they know they walk out that door. They walked out that door knowing, especially when the youngest left to go to college, you're going to be held accountable for every mistake you make. So you be careful of the mistakes you make. No matter how much I beg you not to make them, if you're gonna make them, that's fine. But you're gonna have to pay the piper, bro, not me.
Okay.
And hopefully, so far so good. We'll see.
I love it. So this question, anybody got anything to say before we go to the next question?
Let me know when I can ask a question.
When you can ask. Okay, you can ask after this one.
That's
Okay.
fine.
All right. So the question says, do you believe that if a woman verbally expresses to a man that she is there for every area of their life, shoulder to lean on, although he has been hurt by another female, he would ever trust the one who truly has a heart and love for him to open up for her fully?
To answer her question, yes, but you better be 100% accurate on what you're saying.
Yeah.
It can't be your point of view. It has to actually be you really are 100% locked in, because he's gonna test it.
And no matter what he says, it got to be accepted.
He's gonna test it.
It got to be, no matter what it is.
It has to. You
can't set a standard
It
and then
can't be
deviate. That's what I tell
99.5.
you.
It gotta be 100.
Gotta
If
be.
it ain't 100, verbiage is important.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
You don't
I'm
think so?
gonna say that, shoot, no matter how much I trust anybody, there's certain things that I'm just not gonna introduce and say and open up in discussion or just express. Like, it takes time and a lot.
Well,
before
she
you
was
can-
asking about being trusted, though, right? Not
Yeah.
necessarily opening up.
No, she said verbally express. So basically, she told this man, "I'm here for you. Like I'm that one. I'm that shoulder. I know you've been hurt in the past, but I'm not hurt.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like allow me to be the woman that I am, not the
Now-
woman that you."
Now, let me tell you what I just heard.
I agree with both sides.
Yes, but let me tell you what I just heard.
And
what
it's
you
been
just
2
said.
years.
Let me tell you what I
How long?
what I
2
heard
years.
as a man.
hmm
Share all your flaws with me,
Yeah, shoot.
and
Yeah,
trust that I won't use them against you when
He's
I
like,
get
no, I'm
mad
not
at
gonna
you.
do that.
Oh.
And most men ain't gonna.
no.
All right. I hope you heard that. I hope you got your answer. It came from 3 men who said, "Baby, that ain't gonna work right now. They're gonna take some time.
Well,
2 years ain't enough.
Well, he's gonna test it.
It's,
I go back
it's,
to
it's
the.
gonna
He's going to test it. Like the
he's
first
gonna
thing
test the water."
the first thing he gonna do to test it is he gonna look at you and say, "Well, if that's true right now, I need space." And when he says that, can you shut up?
Shut
Can you stop chasing his emotions and try and give him the space he need and let him come talk to you when he ready, except on your schedule? Because if you can't do that, that 100% we talk about ain't quite 100.
So that goes back to the love and basketball scene. I know y'all remember it when Quincy was going through whatever he was going through, but Monica had to meet her curfew because if she did, she wasn't gonna play.
Yeah.
And he just could not accept the fact that, like, I need you now, but she had other obligations. So right, Spalding, definitely Spalding, because she wanted to start, but it was on his time where he was like, "I'm ready to open up," and she wasn't there.
Fact.
Yeah.
So that goes against. So that means you're really not here for me. If
Exactly.
when I needed
And,
you,
and even
you
though,
wasn't here. So that means the circumstances that she was faced with was not important.
Well, no, it's not that they weren't important. He understood that they were important because the same things were important to him in his life.
Mhm.
But right then and there was your opportunity to show him that he was the priority, and he wasn't, and that's all he heard.
Mm.
Is that not considered a little selfish?
It can be, but feelings are selfish.
Right.
Women know that firsthand. There, you have had plenty.
Damn.
Be honest.
What a
Be honest.
shade is.
There,
Given the fact, given the
but you
fact,
know it firsthand, like you, neither one of you can look at me and tell me that there haven't been times where you felt something, and it may not be 100% right, but damn it, that's how you feel.
You
Given-
too, right?
given the fact that men,
Sure.
It is humiliation, but men most times are going to be quiet because if I ain't right, I ain't arguing.
given the fact that men have to pick and
Y'all
choose.
argue.
The wife looked at me one time and she went, "You think you know everything in the middle of a fight?" I said, "Let me tell you how they work." I said, "If I say anything, I know." I said, "Because if I don't know, I shut the fuck up." That's what I do. If I don't know, I'm going to shut up. I have nothing to say. So if we argue, I know what I'm talking about
5 plus 5 times 5.
every time.
What is
5 plus 5 is 10 times 5, which is
That's incorrect.
okay. Say it again.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You go multiplication, baby.
times 5?
You go 5 times 5, then you add the 5 to it.
No,
No.
I went left.
He ain't say nothing about no
He didn't
parentheses.
say no parentheses there.
But that's
Multiplication.
that's
Please
the-
excuse my
please
dear,
excuse
my
my
dear
dear
assailant.
Okay, what does the P stand for?
parentheses.
What does the
But
E
if
stand for?
parentheses are not
What
there,
is
you
the
do the
E?
exponent.
The
What is
exponent.
the E?
For the order.
E is not
So
exponent.
parentheses not there, you do the exponent. If exponent's not there, you do
Do
multiplication.
multiplication.
Multiplication not there, you do division.
Well, why we talking about math?
Okay,
Is
This
1 plus 1
conversation
2 or is it 1?
okay.
Because you're adding one, you're
okay.
adding value.
Is 1 plus
So
1
that's-
2 or 1?
Now, one times one is the question.
These-
Verbiage is important.
these-
I,
this is
I,
the
you
time.
got $5. I gave you 5 more, and then I multiplied it by 5. How much money did you get? So he, yeah, I ain't told no jokes.
If you
To go back.
if you get,
You
I'm actually gonna calculate that.
got $5.
Right, that's what the parentheses around it, right?
This operation first.
Right, right.
To go back to what
You
you
said
said
5.
about the Quincy and Monica. thing. The
I
Quincy,
gave you $5. You have $5. I gave you 5 more,
If
and
little
then I
Johnny,
multiplied it by 5.
if little Johnny had 5 apples,
Apples.
I'm sorry.
where my belt at? If little Johnny, but go back. It goes back to the Quincy and Monica thing,
Mhm.
and that goes back to when men have to pick and choose when they can be vulnerable. At the moment, he was vulnerable, and she wasn't there, so that was the hit. That was the hit on that aspect, and men go through that a lot.
Because he was, again, like I said when I told you earlier, he's going to test you. That was a vulnerable moment, and he tested her to see what a priority. Because this whole movie, you wanted to be my girl. Here's your shot. You chose the ball.
And sometimes women, we don't choose the ball, but we choose jobs.
Choose it.
We
Well,
choose going out.
there are women out there right now that are married to their careers, and they go, "Well, ain't no man gonna tell me nothing." I'm like, "Well, do you work for a woman?"
Shut up. Some of them do, but not all of them. Majority, because we're talking majority.
Okay,
General.
generally speaking.
They working for the man.
Men telling you what to do every day. But the one who is, and when he go home, he got his own family that he's sworn to. You're an employee to him. But when
Man.
you come home to me,
Ooh.
the one who's committed to you, I get to be second fiddle. Again, we're talking men.
Ooh.
Men don't want to be second place to no other
Nobody.
man in their woman life. I don't give a damn what his title is.
Listen, if I was at church, I'd shout right now.
Don't do that.
Well, I work for a
Listen.
woman.
Me
Who
too.
does
My
she
boss
work
is a
for?
woman.
Me.
Who does she?
She worked for a system.
Who's the head of the
I don't know who the head of the
What
system.
I
Who the head of the system?
I work for me.
What I did is excuse.
Is I don't want to be
What I did
I'm
learn
sure
that
there's
no
a man
matter-
at the top
no
of that
matter-
system.
There is an innate desire to never be wrong, no matter what the situation.
I like it. I
Can I
like
ask
it.
my question?
Yes, go ahead with your question.
My question is,
You know I'm sassy over here, so.
what? The best way to put it, why or where did the argument come from? Or why does it exist? Or why does it matter
Mhm.
as to who has it harder between men and women?
Okay.
Because, yeah, go ahead. Give y'all
Well,
feedback on that because I have some thoughts on that. one.
The easiest way to explain this is you've heard the expression that the loudest chain gets the squeaky wheel gets the oil. In the women's movement, the squeakiest wheel has always been the feminist movement. They are the loudest. And the one thing that we've learned about extremes, no matter which direction you go, no matter what the subject is, any extreme in any direction is bad because there is too many people in the country for it to include everybody. So do all women feel 100% like feminists do? No, but they're probably going to align with some of the issues and probably disagree with a few others. But they are the loudest, and they've been able to push the narrative. And because they've been able to push the narrative, that changes the conversation. So you have to look at who's asking the question.
I like it. One, would you care to answer that? We're gonna go in a circle to
Okay.
answer that because that was a good question. I'm going
Let
last.
me popcorn.
Popcorn.
Come back around.
Hey, how the circle
I
go?
gotta think.
That's how it's ending.
I'm thinking.
Are those control person tendencies?
I think that to piggyback off of him, once women started wanting to have men opportunity, the same opportunities that men have, that put more responsibility on us.
Absolutely.
And so now it's like, oh, well, the men, the classic setup was the men worked, the woman stayed home with the kids. But now the woman put this added responsibility. Well, I want to go to work. I want to do this, but she's still bearing the kids. She's still bearing the load. So now it's like, oh, well, we got to share these responsibilities because, oh, I'm so tired. Like, can you wash the dishes for me? Can we do this laundry together? Because I got all of the same. I'm working just like you now. I gotta.
To the man that made it though, to the
Yeah.
man that made it, the old school brother, he's looking at you like, I didn't ask you to go to work anyway.
Right.
You're doing it of your own fruition.
Right.
So you can quit and be the wife that I need you to be.
And now we
or you can handle the load of everything that you want to handle because you want to be this individual.
want to be this individual. Now we got this 50-50.
But now we're here.
Right.
Granddad and them
Here.
ain't here no more.
But still some men are still being taught that this is what I do.
Mhm.
This is what I expect you to do. Now, if you
Mhm.
choose to do something extra, then that's on you.
I'll respect it,
Yeah.
but that don't mean I have to
But that don't mean that I have to support, and that don't mean that I'm gonna come home and take over where you supposed to
Where
be.
you
And
fall
and that's his
Mm,
mentality.
gotcha.
And so
you're
that's why
you're
from
supposed
the
to be the
beginning you're supposed
homemaker.
to have that conversation. That's what you
Because
want to be a
to
part of.
that point, like in the household, there are certain things that just aren't up for discussion.
Right.
Like no matter how many jobs you have or how equal you think you are, if somebody breaking that front door, you expect that man to go do something
Be
about it.
there. Right.
Look how she look.
Glove compartment.
Pray.
Gun compartment.
Good compartment. Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, there are certain things that just aren't up for discussion. And to her point, there are some brothers out there that they just aren't as forgiving as others are.
Right. And then there's some brothers that want to be the housewife.
Yep.
Well,
there are people out there, and we go back to that law of averages and everything else. Like the average woman doesn't want the average man at this point.
Right.
First off, no woman wants to be called average. I ain't figured out what's wrong with average yet, but average is just what it is. It's an average.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not a scale of your overall value,
Right.
but the average woman doesn't want the average man right now, and unfortunately, because there are average women out there that are chasing top tier men. And then when these top tier men hurt them, now this average brother that she settled for, not only has to settle for the fact that she settled for me, he has to deal with the fact that he's being compared to a upper echelon top tier man every day.
Even after you get the woman, you still compete.
So when things go south,
he's reminded.
Mm.
I don't think when it comes to that whole debate and argument, I personally don't ever see it as one has it harder than the other. I think we have different.
I think it's situational.
Different situations, different circumstances, but they're equally as tough.
It's almost like minimize. Like to your point, the analogy that I heard about that when somebody asked a question online, they went out asking people which is worse. Which they asked a bunch of women and a bunch of men, which is worse. Having a baby or getting kicked in the balls. And common sense was. But common sense would tell you that obviously having a baby is probably worse than being kicked in the balls. One brother said, well, if that's the case, how come so many women sign up to do it again? Because if somebody kicked me in the ball, I don't ever want to get kicked in the ball again. Lots.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't touch my shot.
Well, we can put it to play. Most of the women are medicated, and there are a lot
but
of
I'm simply saying,
we don't really have to feel the pain.
But that's the way analogies work because situations are subjective.
The other ones.
Yeah, I would never be able to experience.
Situations are subjective. So, we have no idea what that pain is.
What it's like to be a woman.
So we're going to look at it and go, oh, well, but we wouldn't do it again, so it must not be as bad.
Right, yeah. That's true.
Everybody's own story.
I can't judge a woman because, like you said, I have to live the life of a man.
I refuse to.
So
I refuse to judge a woman because I won't be judged as a man.
And vice versa.
I won't put myself in position to.
But that's not, when we talk about the respect thing, we talk about it, what's hypocritical. I refuse to judge a woman over anything because I won't let a woman judge me. I will allow any woman out there to be the best version of herself possible.
Yeah. So going back to your, ask the question again.
Where did it come from, or why is there an argument that men or women have it harder?
Okay. So I don't know what class it was I was in, but it was some class I was in where we had to read these books. It was called Be So Cool and Whitewash.
Oh,
But in the book, it explained how, um, in America especially, how the one percenters, you know, when they brought different races here and dealt with different races, the reason why we kind of go against each other, have this like, especially like black and brown, because like we both had different situations that wasn't the best,
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't the same as the one percenters, but it's like, hey, yeah, you got it bad, but you're not as bad as you ain't got as bad as this person. So then once that kind of start to pan out and people start to do better, then the women's movements kind of started around 1919, and it was like shoot, and it was that same kind of contrast. Hey, look, yeah, you got it bad, women, but dude, you ain't as bad as a black man, or you ain't as bad as
Well,
you know what I'm saying.
we did a study about that
Hispanics
too, where you learn how, economics, racism, elitism, believe it or not, we
Socialism.
learned socialism, you learn how they line up. Like if you ever noticed how racial lines tend to line up with economic value lines.
Yeah.
The richer a neighborhood gets in a lot of cases, the whiter it looks. But then when you go back to the hood, you realize it's just as many poor white people as there, if not more, because they outnumber us. So you learn that first off, the 1% ain't trying to become the 2%. And so when you're talking about people that have the money, the resources, and the power, the one thing that they don't have is what? Numbers. So that's also the only thing that they fear.
And the more
So
they have,
unity is what they fear more than anything. So they have an abundance of tools to make sure that poor people look at other poor people and are constantly clashing with them, so that you never look up the street at the people who got it.
It's the crab in the bucket effect.
Yes.
The more you can pour down somebody that's down there with you, the less likely y'all will make it to the top.
And that's what it looks like with Black men and Black women. Because for whatever reason,
well, even from racial lines, when you really look at the biggest races in this country are the poorest of white people. Why do they feel so adamant about that? Because they've been convinced by rich white people that, hey, you're broke, but at least you ain't black. And it gives them something to hang on to.
Yeah, that is so true.
Because they'll never have wealth.
That's true. And it's all about the mindset and what we believe in, the people that we surround ourselves with, educating ourselves, taking the courses, going to see a therapist, getting somebody who's going to hold you accountable and not a yes man. And just to kind of tie everything in together, as we see, as the man, the person in the environment, it literally depends on how that man is raised, who raised him, what he listened to, what he watched. Those things are important. So we have to be mindful what it is that we are feeding our kids. What are we allowing them to listen to see, the people we allow them to hang around. All of that plays a major factor into their becoming. So my task, my challenge for each of you is to be mindful of the person that you are becoming. And sometimes you are going to outgrow your environment, and it is okay. You want to grow, you want to expand. And based off that last question my husband asked, I would definitely like to say, we all have our own woes, we all have our own highs. So what I face, he's not going to face, vice versa. But we do know that once the feminist movement started, as Juan stated, when that started, women were everywhere, like especially our white women. It was like, hey, we can do it too, and all this other extra stuff. Like we're important. But the difference in those women and the black women, the white women went back home to their husbands. The black women, they stayed out with that, I don't need a man for nothing. And that's what we have seen happen to our generations and generations to come. So, in order to change it, we have to be the change. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining us today. It has been amazing conversation, definitely well needed. Anybody has anything to say?
Absolutely.
Again, thank y'all so much.
I really appreciate being invited. I had a great time with y'all, and I leave here with a newfound understanding of the value of $40. I didn't know
Wow.
$40 could so much in this world, but I know now.
Or so little.
Also,
No grace.
No, great. No, great.
Ah.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
Absence of grace.
Yes.
Say $40.
Yes. Yes. Anything you would like? Any closing words?
I'm
Lauren?
just glad to be here, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, same thing. Glad to be here. I can't wait to the next one.
All right. Babe, any final words?
Get the deed.
Listen, when I tell y'all, man, a
Oh,
few
man.
words, like
This is fun.
it's been fun. All right. So we love y'all because we can. There's nothing you can do about it. Be sure to tune in. Make sure you like, follow.
Some of y'all ain't worthy of my love, so you do not have it.
No grace.
No, great.
You are worth $40.
Yeah.